Hello class, my name is Travis Knapp and I'm going to be going over my flight scenario presentation assignment. In this assignment we'll be going from Denton to Slayton, Texas. Alright, so just a trip overview. We're going to be going 225 nautical miles on a VFR day cross-country trip from Denton, Texas to Slayton, Texas. I am myself in this scenario a commercial student, and I'll be flying a Cessna 152, which is what we operate here at my school. I'm going to be flying to see my parents who live in Lubbock, or Slayton, with my wife as a passenger, as a non-pilot. Here's the route overview. You can see we'll start on the east side there in Denton. It's just under the Bravo Shelf, and we'll be flying west towards Slayton, which is a small town just outside of Lubbock, Texas, Class Charlie. We're going to be flying at 6,500 feet. And we'll start under the Class Bravo. We'll either be cleared into it or have to have two top-of climbs to stay under this shelf. So if we don't get a Bravo clearance, we'll start at 3,500 until we'll clear the shelf, and then we'll climb to our cruise altitude of 6,500 feet. One unique airspace we have on this trip is the Westover 1 and 2 MOAs, which start at 9,000 feet at their lowest, and so we'll be below that and won't have to consider that impact on our journey. Lubbock is a Class Charlie airspace. We'll be staying out of that airspace, but we will interact with their approach controller as we'll be on flight following. And then also, as we travel from east to west, there will be a 3,000 foot gain of the terrain. So we'll start about 6,000 feet AGL, as the terrain in Lubbock is 600 feet, and then in Slayton it's about 3,100 feet. All right, so in this scenario, I'm myself a commercial student. I'm a private pilot who's IFR rated. I'll be using flight following. I am both proficient and current due to frequent commercial training flights. And I feel very comfortable in the 152, which is what I've been flying. My wife will be coming with me, so I will have to be current legally. And so here's just the legal definition of from the FAR. No person may act as a pilot in command of an aircraft carrying passengers of an aircraft certificated for more than one pilot, flight crew member, unless that person has made at least 3 takeoffs and 3 landings within the preceding 90 days. And that's 6157. All right, before every flight, I do my I Am Safe checklist. So before this flight, I will obviously do my I Am Safe checklist, just going through recent illnesses, medications I'm on, any stress in my life, alcohol, obviously 8 hours, bottle of throttle, 0.04%. Fatigue, I like to get at least 8 hours of sleep, especially before flight, and then just make sure that I'm under a good emotional control. If this was the first flight with my wife, I might be emotional. I might be nervous, and then just make sure I eat before the flight so my blood sugar can stay up for the duration. All right. The aircraft I'm flying, again, a Cessna 152. I'm going to do the Aero PC checklist to make sure it is legal to fly. It is an IFR rated aircraft. I'll make sure that the IFR inspections are also up to date. It burns about 6 gallons per hour, and we have a 24.5 gallon capacity. And then with me and my wife, we will be within the weight and balance standards, but I will go ahead and calculate that to ensure that that is correct. For environmental concerns, NOTAMs, so check NOTAMs at my arrival, departure, and our alternate airports along the route. There's about 3 or 4 alternates that are very good to divert to that I would be checking that out. Weather, at same thing, arrival, destination, and then also intermediate weather using the GFA tool on aviationweather.gov. And any known traffic delays, which shouldn't be an issue going from Class Delta to an uncontrolled field. Runway lengths are all in requirements for 152. Fuel required, I will do this performance calculation. It is within the margin of error with a 30 minutes day VFR buffer for my cruise altitude, so 3 extra gallons. All right, and then takeoff and landing distances match my runway distance. External pressures is I'm going on a family visit. There is going to be some pressure for me to get there. I've told my parents I'm coming. They expect me. And then also my wife, who's unfamiliar with flying general aviation, might be an issue on this flight. And that concludes my briefing. And here are my references from the 152 and the FAR. Thanks for listening.